Confidence is standing in a moment in your body, seeing whatever you're looking at through the eyes of Source. So it includes seeing you, seeing what you're seeing. It means allowing all that you are to be present in the moment. And you would be in that confidence if you weren't doing something, or if you haven't been practicing something that is still somewhat active in you that isn't letting the confidence through. It's like you've got an umbrella up, and confidence and well-being is raining down all around you because your inner being knows how brilliant you are and how worthy you are. The best way for anyone to grow their confidence or to improve their personal sense of worthiness is to understand the laws of the universe, to set intentions, to do your best to feel good as much as you can, and then observe the way the universe works on your behalf. Because the more you catch the universe working on your behalf, the more worthy you feel. But you got to be in the vibrational vicinity of it. We've been working toward this understanding with all of you for quite some time. We're going to give you a very brief series of ways to look at it that we've been offering with this singular intention in mind. We told you that you were source energy before you came into this physical body, and that you still are source energy even though you're here, because we want you to understand these 2 points of attraction that are you: your soul, source, inner being, God part, and you in your physical body. And of course, the more closely aligned these 2 parts of you are vibrationally, then the better you feel, the more satisfied you are, and the more worthiness you are aware of, because your inner being knows that about you. So then we went on to explain that if you feel any kind of negative emotion, like insecurity, for example, or lack of confidence, it always means that you're just looking at it different than your inner being does. And in fact, if your inner being were not so confident, you could not feel lack of confidence. Because the emotion that you're feeling is the relational feeling between how your inner being feels and what your inner being knows and what you're doing right here and right now. Then we went on to explain that you sift through the contrast in your time and space, and you launch these vibrational rockets of desire. You can't help but do it. And when you do, they're answered every time by your inner being, by source, and by law of attraction. So this growing that you're doing is happening even though you can't see it right now, because these vibrations have to turn to things before you can see them. There's a vibrational realm that exists, but you've got to find some way to tune into it and to practice being tuned to it before you can be the translator of it into things. Well, most humans wait until they can see and hear and smell and taste and touch the things before they allow themselves to feel worthy. They want to gather other people around, and they want them to all stand in amazement at the statue that you've created. Isn't it beautiful? I made this. Took me my whole life. It's all I'm ever going to do, too. It's going to rest on the laurels of this statue. A lot of people do that. They get something going, and they like it, and other people like it, and then they just stand and say, that represents me. It's the tangible thing that they want to represent them. We want the intangible to be what you're reaching to represent you. Because if you could hook into and understand this vibrational reality, then what would happen is, in your knowing that it's there, even though you can't yet see it, in your faith that it exists, even though you can't see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it, but you can feel it because you feel satisfaction. You can feel it because you feel exhilaration. You can feel it because you're happy. You can feel it because life helped you to know that you wanted it, and you believe that it is coming in the fullest of sense. So you stand in that faith-based, expectant, knowing that it's coming because you can feel it state of being. And then a really wonderful sequence of events begins to happen. Because you are not noticing that what you want hasn't happened, but you're expectant that what you want is coming. You find a way of a way and another way and another way and another way and another way of lining up with it until you are in what we want to call the receiving mode of it. In other words, you're ready to receive the vibrational transmission of it, just like Esther is ready to receive the vibrational transmission of Abraham. We're not whispering these words into her ear one at a time. That would be quite awkward. Instead, we are offering her a stream of consciousness that she is receiving at a very well practiced and unconscious level, and she is able to stream our intent into words. This is thoughts turning to things. This is vibration turning to thoughts, turning to things. That's what this is. So all day, every day, you are in varying degrees the streamer of this non-physical vortex, the streamer of it. So you know that feeling when you get an idea, oh, that idea that was so satisfying before you killed it with your doubt, with your objective reality. It burst through in a moment of your defensive weakness. It burst through in a moment of your unguarded protectiveness. It burst through because it must, because source is always flowing it. It came through and, you got a whiff of it. You said, and then you saw someone else saying, what's wrong with you? Nothing, just a ridiculous thought I had about my future success. But if you feel that idea and you feel it and you understand what just happened, that a thought just turned to a thing. It just turned to an idea in your mind that gave you exhilaration because you merged. You were you. You were in tune with who you are. And because you understand the process, because you understand law of attraction, because you understand your place out here on the leading edge, because you know you put stuff in the vortex and you know the vortex did its thing and law of attraction worked with it and your inner being's there too. And most important, because you found a high-flying enough thought for long enough, now you and your thoughts are in a close enough vibrational place that you received and translated the transmission of it into an idea. And we want you to know that's not the beginning. That's well along the way when that happens to you. And when that happens to you, that means you have the ability to hold yourself there for more thoughts, which bring more good timing, more good rendezvous, more manifestations of the things that are in your vibrational reality right out here where you can see them and everyone else can too. And there is nothing in all of the universe that brings more of a steady awareness of your worthiness than you're applying what you know and translating it into your good deeds, you see. Words don't teach. It's only life experience that teaches. It's odd that we offer so many words. We blame Esther. We're just offering feelings. We're offering thoughts. And she's translating them. And we're glad that she is, because you're joining her in these rendezvous. And then your life experience shows you something that you've heard about. And you realize that you are the creator of your own reality. You are the worthy creator of your own reality. You have the energy that creates worlds at your back, assisting you in the creation of whatever it is that's important to you. For you not to feel worthy is ridiculous. We'll be kind. Crazy. It's ridiculous for you to not know the worthiness of your being, because it's just crazy that you have not been allowing more and more of what you've put into your vortex, which is alive and well, to come into your conscious awareness. So here's why. It comes into your conscious awareness all the time, and then you counteract it with other things that you've picked up along your physical trail. So the reason that you don't let your cork float is because you hold it under the water. That's all. Let go of it. It'll float. So there it's floating. The idea came. Ooh, what a good idea. And then you think, oh, never done anything like that before. Hardly know anybody that has. Not sure what others would think if I actually did that. Not sure how much time I have. I'm pretty busy. I don't know. I'm not getting enough sleep as it is. I don't know. I don't really think I can do that. And then your cork is under the water and you say, why don't I feel worthy? And we say, let go of the cork. Oh, I don't think so. I think I have good reason to hold this idea down, because I tried to explain a little bit of it to my mother. And then I went to sleep. And when I woke up, my cork was floating again. Whew, and the idea came back. And then I remembered. And so you practice these thoughts of unworthiness, but the good news is every time you do it, you feel the emotion that lets you know you're doing it. So the key is, when you feel yourself doing that thing you do, where you are counteracting something that has been born and something that you tapped into for a moment, just acknowledge what's happening. You don't have to solve it right then. You don't have to suddenly start feeling different than you feel. In fact, law of attraction won't let you. Law of attraction is going to continue the momentum of the things that you are giving the most time to. But when you awaken in the morning, you have a much better shot of your cork floating. Just let it float for a little while, which usually means see no one for a while. Don't answer your email. Don't look on your phone. Stop the multitasking. Do a little bit of segment intending. Let this segment of your day be, you woke up, you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Stay there for just a little while and practice what it feels like to be in sync with the ideas that are flowing. It's just like your radio. Set your tuner for what you want to receive. And what you want to receive from your vortex is way up here in these pure positive energies, you see. And before you know it, ideas are flowing and more manifestations are coming, and the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets. Over time, our explanation to you has evolved because we were saying, get into the vortex, get into the vortex, get into the vortex. And we also said, sometimes you're in and sometimes you're out and sometimes you're in. You're in alignment or you're not. But we have found that it is more effective to say to you, so here's this vortex. What's your relationship with it? Are you in the receiving mode of it? Because if you're in the receiving mode of this vortex, then there will be a smooth transfer of the vibrational frequency of the vortex into your mind, into your ideas, into your reflexes, into your impulses, into your rendezvous. Don't you ever wonder how thoughts turn to things? Well, that's how. So the way you maintain a better relationship with your vortex is by caring about how you feel. Be aware of what you're thinking and try to find a thought that soothes you in some way. It's a lot for us to ask of you to want to feel good, but that is the homework. You have to want to feel good. You have to want to feel good enough that you're willing to acknowledge when you don't and try to find a thought that feels a little better. And the best process is to, when you first wake up, acknowledge that you do feel good unless you do that thing you do that causes it to diminish. Because when you wake up, it's a whole new beginning. And you have the potential of supporting or maintaining that higher emotion or that higher vibration when you first wake up than at any other time during the day. And so Esther would wake up and she would say, oh, I'm awake, it's a new day. And for a few days, she felt a sort of tension to maintain that. Like, don't think, 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 or don't remember, but just the awareness that it is a new day. And so Esther has learned, if she'll get right into it, the sooner she turns music on in the house, the better the day goes. The sooner she brushes her teeth, the better the day goes. There are just some things that once you do it, you just naturally feel better. So just keep doing the things that feel better, thinking the thoughts that feel better, remembering the things that feel good. In other words, just tend to your vibration, care about feeling good. And before you know it, you'll be so accustomed to this high-flying vibration that when you're not there, you'll just get so you cannot cope in those negative emotions at all. Because that's where your inner being is, and that's who you are, and that's what you want. And who wouldn't choose clarity over confusion? Who wouldn't choose happiness over sadness, or sureness over uncertainty, or thrill over depression? In other words, of course it's what you want, you see. So you just take it a little bit at a time. Let it breathe its happiness in your direction. There is great love here for you.